Okay, I think we're going to get started here. Good morning. So for those of you that don't know me, I expect a bigger response. Okay. So good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this fine day? We're all looking forward to the rain?
Yes.
I know I am. Okay, well, welcome to Million Cup. We are an entrepreneurs group, not technically a networking group, but we are here for mutual support. That's not to say that you can't meet people here. We'd love you to do that. I'm Jane Perry. Most of you have met me at one time or another. If we haven't met, I'm a professional magician, and I sound like a baritone today because I was talking all weekend. And I was at the Oddity and Bizarre and Oddity Expo. Anybody get over there? It was odd and bizarre. It was a lot of fun. I got to do 3 shows and talk to a few thousand people, and some of which were very young and I suspect gave me this cold. So I guess I'll call that a victory given the world today. Before we get going, I would like to thank a couple of folks. I want to start with our coffee roaster, Sleepy Turtle Coffee Company. And here they come.
A little short there. Hey guys, my name is Kirsty. I'm owner of the Sleepy Turtle Coffee Co., a mobile coffee shop here in Colorado Springs. I do all sorts of grand openings, pop-ups all over. This weekend, I'm doing a new grand opening up in Denver in the Rhino District. It's a new gallery called 3 Arrows. So if you're in the area, it's going to be super fun.
Okay, I want to introduce a couple more people, but if you have a community announcement, we're going to move that to the beginning. We've done that for a few weeks, and it's worked pretty well. So if you have a community announcement and you're somebody other than Flip, I mean, Flip's welcome too, of course, but come on over here. We don't have a coffee sponsor right now, so here's an opportunity for anybody if they'd like to give us a hand. Our coffee cup sponsor, of course, is the SBDC and the BBBs. Anybody out there want to speak for them?
Oh, well, remember I was going to do that.
Samantha.
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Samantha. As an organizer, I do like 5 different roles. So we should be onboarding some new organizers soon, but I tried really hard to get a coffee sponsor this month and it just didn't happen. So I'm just going to repeat what she said. So please, if you are interested, come talk to me like today or we can line it up for the future. Last time there wasn't a coffee sponsor, I paid for the coffee sponsorship, but I don't really want to do that again. So yeah, the SBDC and the BBB, they provide our paper cups. I brought my own cup today. But when you don't bring your own cup, you have those there. We always partner with them for Small Business Week. So nationwide Small Business Week is in May, but we've always done ours in June, and it's always been more successful than the May when we used to do it in May. So they keep to that. It's always been just like 1 Million Cups. We do a panel usually, and it's usually not at our same location. This year, the SBDC BBB is doing a paid one. So I'm trying to offer them a flat rate for all of our 1 Million Cups because we are supposed to be a free event. So keep that in mind. You know, if the tickets are $5, I'm sure everybody's good with that. Maybe they'll give us a discount code. I've been working on that for a while. So just keep that on your radar and keep that in mind for the second Wednesday in June, I believe it is. And they might give us a discount code, so there still might be a fee, but they'll give us like a 1 Million Cups code, so keep that in mind as well. We're still on sponsors.
Actually, I think
Well, Judy.
that's okay. So let's do her at the end. But since you're here, Judy will give you an opportunity to say hello. Judy is our space sponsor.
Hi everybody, thanks for being here. Happy to support the local entrepreneurs, so I'm excited to hear what we've got for community announcements. Welcome and thanks for being here.
Might as well finish out the rest of the sponsors. Kevin, did you want to say a couple words?
Yeah.
a new media sponsor.
Hey everyone, well, my name is Kevin. My company is Fedde Studios. I do, video and photography and live stream stuff and drone stuff. So I'm just a huge nerd and I just do a bunch of stuff. So I've been doing, all this for about 11 years. I've had my own business now for about 6 months. So, getting things going again. So I'm happy to be here. Thanks everyone. I'll do that.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm going to ask the folks to come up and give their community announcements. Thanks.
Hello, this Saturday is the first Saturday car show of the season. It's from 7 to 11 up at the Soccer House. It's Centennial Garden of the Gods area. It's a come as you want, leave as you want kind of car show, like a Cars and Coffee. There's no awards or anything or no registration. Just come. There's food and drinks and DJs and stuff like that. I actually have another quick announcement. This coming Monday, May 9th, is my birthday, and I will be at Memorial Park from 4 to 6 p.m. giving out free ice cream from Rizzuto's ice cream truck. So come on out, get your free ice cream.
How's that for a community announcement? Yes. Happy birthday, 3G. Let's see. So Nerd Night, I can't remember it all, even though I say it all the time. So Nerd Night will be May 18th. Oh, by the way, because I am the Nerd Night person, I should say May the 4th be with you, right? Mm-hmm. So, Nerd Night, we're going to have James Weaker, who is the Ever Good Elixir. He's not here today, and he's going to be talking about camping for everyone. We're going to have Elena. I don't even know how to say her last name. It's very long. But she is a professor at UCCS, and she's going to be talking about deception. And we're going to have Rod Gillis, and it's nice to see you again. We're going to have Rod Gillis from the Money Museum, which is like right across the street over there, and he's going to be telling us about the history of money. On Memoirs, which is on May 23rd. So remember, this month's Memoirs is not the last Monday. It's the Monday before, so that all of you can enjoy your Memorial Day. And we will have Mimi the Motivator, who is not here at the moment. Oh, where is she? There she is. You snuck in. Look at you. So she's going to be telling us about her story, and Nicole Holtz, who I believe is going to be presenting here next week. And their theme that they will be connecting to is From Boom to Bloom. And of course, August 6th, Best of the West Wing Fest. 1 million cups. You guys have a discount code 1MCCOS. Use it. I will see all of you at all of these fun things. Thank you. Kinship Landing. Thank you. It's not going to be at 3E's this month.
Good morning. I am Jenna Isabel Rose with Phoenix Rose Create. I am co-sponsoring a free workshop on May the 24th here at the Next Us with Judy. And come have fun. This is an hour-long workshop, hands-on activity, basic things about composition.
Hey everybody, I'm Gio Pensino, and I have a secret announcement. You are being the first audience to hear this, but I've given permission to talk about it. So I'm a member here at the Next Us community. I've been here for about 2.5 years, and here at the Next Us, we are launching, we don't have the exact name for it yet, but essentially it's a urban micro farm. Garden Gangsters Club is one of the names. We're floating, and we're meeting on Tuesdays in our lunchroom. You're welcome to join us. It is one of the benefits of being part of the Next Us community. So if you've been thinking about getting a membership here at the Next Us, maybe that'll tip you over the edge. But we have a vision for producing food, vegetables, possibly chickens. We've even floated fish, and the crazy idea of cattle. But we think that's a little out there. That's the thing. Tuesdays at noontime here, right in the room next door.
Here's your guys' PSA for the month. May is Disability Insurance Awareness Month. How many people here knew that the majority of disability insurance claims pay out for cancer? Most people think disability insurance is only if you're injured in an accident. No, it covers anything that prevents you from being able to go to work.
Hi, I'm Paula Levy, and I'm here for my friend Kathy Sparnans, who couldn't be here. She is the creator and director for a film documentary called Voices of Grief, and she is partnering with UCCS to try to bring a grief center to Colorado Springs and the surrounding areas, and she would love people to participate in her survey to see what the needs and the interests are for having a grief center here in Colorado Springs, and it would be called Voices of Grief Center. So I will leave these in the back. You can just scan the barcode and participate. She would love as much feedback as possible, and she hopes to present here someday soon.
I will take one of those. My husband's a counselor, so he's in a lot of these worlds. So I'm going to give this to him. It's okay, sure. Flip said he had another announcement, so I'll do that for him. We do jujitsu here on Tuesday. What's today? Wednesday at 11 o'clock. So if you want to get a free class, that your first class is always free. So just come talk to Flip. Yeah, it worked good. And so my announcement is on behalf of the Kaufman Foundation, who funds what we do here at 1 Million Cups. So in April, we celebrated our 10-year anniversary as a 1 Million Cups organization worldwide. We've been a part of it for now 7.5 years. So we got on pretty much in the beginning there. And so just so you know, a few of us were talking about it this morning. The app's always been a little bit funny. The website is great, but doesn't have the functionalities of the app. But all that is being redone. So I think by August, it might look the same on our side, but it might look slightly different, and that is on purpose. So we're getting a whole new system for us as organizers. We have a back office where we pull in the organizers and we make notes and things like that. So it'll impact us a little bit more than everybody else, but just keep an eye out for that. And so you can keep using the app till then if you want, but if you don't, then that's okay too, because it won't be there for much longer. So it'll all be browser, phone friendly, and might have the functionality of check-in, which I know a lot of us like. So also I'll mention, I'll do that at the middle. Okay, back to you, Jane.
Any other announcements? Okay. I want to introduce our speaker this morning. This is Courtney Beck from SoCo. I said SoCal this morning. 4 people jumped me in the hallway. I'm not even from California, so it's from SoCo. I lost my spot. There it is. SoCo ICE. Courtney Beck.
All right. Good morning, and thank you for having us. As you said, my name is Courtney Beck. My partner is Jeff Benson, and we own a freestanding ice and water vending machine on the corner of 21st and Colorado. So our goal is to bring an unlimited supply of ice to Colorado Springs, and we found ourselves to have a love of ice because we have a love of adventure. And when Jeff and I had met, we started traveling, packing the car and going all over Colorado and other states and driving, and we would always pack a cooler. Our adventure started 3 days before, when we would make ice in little trays, and we would put them in Ziploc bags, and we started, and we said, well, we have our ice for the trip, right? And it was about, 1 full gallon-sized Ziploc bag of ice, and we found that really only lasted maybe half a day in our water bottles. You'd get back in the hot car, and by the end of the first day of your adventure, you'd have no more ice left behind. So then you stop at bunkers or convenience stores around, and you start buying ice. You buy a 10-pound bag here. The more rural you get, the more expensive the ice gets, but you still really like that cool sort of water or iced tea or juice as you're traveling. And eventually that melts, that 10-pound bag. And then you want to buy a 20-pound bag of ice. Then you're thinking, well, I should have bought more ice. Why did I only buy 1 bag? And so then we started, and we just kept buying more ice and more ice. And as we traveled around the state, we would open up bunkers, and we'd travel to these convenience stores, and they would just be empty. There'd be no ice to be bought. When we went to Rocky Mountain National Park, we opened up the 2 big bunkers right outside Rocky Mountain, and they're empty. There's just no ice to be found. Jeff has a cabin, and we would travel all the time up to his cabin, and we just found that we were running out of ice by the time we spent 2 days at his cabin. And sometimes us having ice in the cooler would either prolong our adventure. We'd either say, well, we could stay to Sunday night, or we really have to head back into town. We have no more ice. There's like no more cool drinks. Or we could stay to Monday. Like maybe if we have more ice, we could stay to Monday. And so ice sort of became what we focused on as we adventured around, because it really became your enjoyment. It's the one thing you sort of miss when you don't have. It's sort of the last thing people think about when they're planning parties. Where am I going to get this ice? And then people say, oh, who brought the ice? And then people try and run and source it all. So we found that there really was a lack of ice in Colorado. So we decided on this venture. We found a company that makes a freestanding machine. We started this in 2019 to bring it to Colorado Springs, because I just felt that if we were seeking it out, there were other people out there seeking out the same thing and the same adventures, whether you're campers or fishermen. That's really how we started on this. And so ice is the one thing I think people gather around at parties and adventures. And like I said, camping and RVing, businesses struggle to source it. And so we wanted to relieve that burden within the community. We wanted to save people money by bringing a high quality product. And that's really where we started on this. And we have struggled for 3 years. I've watched the videos, but we are finally open for business. But we have struggled for 3 years. And we finally made our dream come true by bringing this product and wanted our adventures to be more pleasant. And we wanted to share that with the community, which is how we got to be in the ice business. So every time we hear about festivals and enjoyment, I always think, oh, everybody's running around with their refillable bottles nowadays, and where are they going to get their product? And so we want to be the one single source where people sort of flock to. We wanted our property to be a community focused as well, which is how we ended up where we are. So we left a little coupon on the tables, the 1 mil cups, for everyone to sort of experience it themselves. And we want to be part of everybody's adventures this summer. We're trying to just bring a high quality product to, I would say, Colorado Springs. So that's how we started on this adventure, for our own true love of ice in our cooler and our love of camping and adventuring and having parties and get-togethers. So that's where we're at. So probably a little sample.
20 minutes starts now.
When we were talking before, you shared with me one of the stories that, I don't want to say the whole story, but when other people say no, you get to say yes. Do you want to share with us some of those?
Yes, as I said, our struggle began in 2019. We purchased our property, which is the corner of 21st in Colorado, and we ventured around, and I asked everybody who owned commercial property. You see these large vacant properties that are empty, and there's no cars parked in them, except there are people who own that property in Colorado Springs. And we just asked over and over again, like, can I use 300 to 500 square feet and lease this from you? And we were repeatedly told, no, 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 I don't see value in your product. And we really had a feeling that if we brought the product to the town, then people can see the love of it like we could. So I ended up purchasing that corner lot at 21st in Colorado. If anybody frequents Old Colorado City, it was about 10 years vacant with a Connex on it. And we've had an uphill battle trying to develop that property to a parking lot and work with the city on their requirements, which probably is no shocker. But we've had an uphill battle, and we have jumped through all the hoops to finally be able to say, I'm the property owner, which I really enjoy, because even this week one of the schools reached out and was like, can we put signage up on your property? And I really wanted to make that property, even though we look like we're just 6 parking spaces, I really want to make that property, part of the community in essence, as long as our machine. We feel our machine vends water and ice, water down to 10 cents for a 20-ounce bottle refill. So we feel demographically we sort of reach everybody of every sort of socioeconomic status who might need it. So.
I love your story, and if I were on Shark Tank, I would say I'll invest.
Thank you.
And the first thing I said, which is I love your story, and it's solved a riddle for me that was actually kind of had a negative to it, because I saw, the development of your property and everything, and there's a certain part of me that said that's a pretty iconic, even though it was kind of a crapped out lot, it's a very visible thing, and I'm like, what is this thing? What is this thing? And initially I had a bit of a negative, this is evil, this thing is evil. But now I hear your story, and it's an amazing story. I have a real affinity to it. I was in the ice business myself as a young person. And my question to you is, because your story that you just gave now is takes the evil out of it and turns it around, and it makes it passionate and beautiful, what's your plan to get that story out there?
We are, well, that is true. We tend to be present at the property, even though it is an unmanned structure, and we have talked to a lot of our neighbors who have walked the street. And I think, to be quite honest, I was frightened of the city not allowing us to open. The property itself had 20-foot setbacks, which did not allow for any sort of housing and development with new codes. Which is why that property actually came up monthly for city review, and nothing could be approved on it. Because we are an unmanned structure, we got a lot of variances from the city on fire and safety and evacuation and all that kind of stuff. So we went through extensive review with the city beforehand to be able to develop that property rather than having the vacant lot. We also live in the community in Old Colorado City, so we appreciate the beauty of, and the eclecticness, I'd like to think, of Old Colorado City, which is why we actually framed out that building, and we made it as aesthetically pretty as it is. So we also appreciate it because we live in the community. I think as more people use it and they're present, and like I said, a lot of the passerbys, as we're present on the property, have asked us, the story will slowly get out of what our goal was to bring this to the city, versus somebody thinking that this is, another big box store. They are independently owned, and like I said, we live within that community, and I don't think we wouldn't have been comfortable bringing anything that wasn't of value to our neighborhood either. So a lot of it we have a lot of functionality in the machine, even though it looks like just a small building. We can do fundraising for organizations, whether it's Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts. If they send people to the machine, we can use coupon codes, and they can get fundraising back to their organizations. Let's say an organization is having a picnic, and they know that all their members will want to go get ice before the picnic. We can give 20% back of the sales towards that organization. So we do have a lot of reaching out to the business communities to do, to show that the possibilities of this small little machine.
What are some of the marketing tactics that you have thought of to try to bring awareness to this little space that's super cute?
That is true. We were planning on doing Facebook ads. Mm-hmm. I spoke to somebody who does the advertising on the back of the Keen Super receipts, mm-hmm. because we really also want to reach people who don't use social media. Mm-hmm. Mostly we have word of mouth advertising. As I said, we have it's called the TTI Club that people can join up on. And if you share your username with someone and you bring them to the machine, you receive credits for free ice. So kind of a snowball effect of just word of mouth. We do believe that once somebody uses the machine and the product, they just continuously return to it. Because it is such a high quality product at a reasonable cost.
Was there did you have to make a lot of choices about the machine itself? Like, are there many different kinds of machines? Like, what was that process like?
So the machine is made in Georgia. It is U.S. built and made and come out here. Mm-hmm. The company who makes it have 3 size machines. They have variable ice maker sizes. We decided to go big. Our machine makes 6,000 pounds of ice every 24 hours. Wow. So it has the capability it is very clean. It makes the ice, it stores it, it crushes it, it vends it, it bags it, all without touching human hands. So we did have a few, the city put restraints on us as far as aesthetics, so that the building is actually framed out and the machine sits on the inside. But our biggest choice was really the size of the ice maker we put on and the capacity of vending. In the back.
Where do you see yourself going in 5 years?
In 5 years, we would like to have more machines, and we would like to have them centrally placed, north, east. Our biggest challenges is finding that commercial property. We need to be close to a 3-phase power. We need to be close to a water line and usually a sewer line nearby. And the biggest challenge we've had is in the real estate forum. Commercial real estate prices are above what we could afford for our little machine. This was reasonable, but right now, commercial real estate, we couldn't afford to buy the pad sites or whatever to put the machines on. So you really need small independent businesses who own their land who would like to partner with you on a land lease. Our machines in general can draw about 300 people on a Saturday or Sunday, and you hope that you draw businesses to the kind of surrounding businesses in the area too as well.
So this flyer doesn't talk about that you do other services like delivery and large orders, right?
We have started to do delivery. We put a merchandiser on a trailer, which will deliver 80 20-pound bags within a small radius. We're trying to get a feel of what businesses would need or want or festivals, and kind of see what the demand is. If the demand raises up, we would want to get a refrigerated truck or trailer. The times are such that they're about 26 weeks out on delivery of those kind of things. So that would be something we'd look into for next summer. Right now, we do have a merchandiser on a trailer, and we can deliver 80 20-pound bags at one time to a festival. So if there was a festival that had a bunch of food trucks and everybody wanted to partner together, they didn't want to go to the machine, we definitely could work out some sort of delivery to them.
I know a festival.
Say, cold beer and wings, right?
How long has this been open?
4 weeks.
4 weeks. Okay.
4 weeks.
Wow.
And where do you get? So you said you have a machine that produces the ice. So is it?
The machine itself does. We're off city water, and then it goes through multiple phases of filtration and sediment filters and dechlorination and an RO filter, and then that water is brought up into ice tubes, I will say. So the ice is made with reverse osmosis water, and then it's made, and there's a bin on the inside, and it's all stored, and it's all mechanical. Yeah.
How many different products are there? Obviously, there's big bags, and you said you could fill water bottles. Can you get any amount of ice you want?
You can get any. You can get 6,000 pounds of ice if you want to bag 6,000 pounds of ice. We just do ice and water. So the water is reverse osmosis. We sell it at 25 cents a gallon up to a 5-gallon fill, which is $1.25. So offices that want to refill theirs, people, it's very reasonable. If you're willing to do the work, it's a great savings of cost of the same high quality product you get in the store. So like I said, it goes up to a 5-gallon fill for $1.25. We do a 20-pound bag. We also offer a 10-pound bag at $2 or a 20-pound bag at $3. And we have a bulk fill option. So if you place your cooler beneath, the machine can vend the ice directly into the cooler, and that is $2.50. So we save you money if you kind of skip the bag and go a little eco-friendly.
I love that you brought up the filtration process. I think that that's really important, especially kind of in this day and age with what we know about what's going on with water and your health. So I feel like if I were to say anything, I would really push the knowledge and information behind the quality of your product, because you mentioned, several times with quality, but we didn't know what you were saying until you kind of went into that filtration process and the different things. And I feel like educating people on that piece is going to be also another thing that will set you apart from the other ice machines. But as a business, I know that I've driven to Shell, I've driven to Walmart, I've driven to this place and that place, and every time it's like, they're empty, the ice bins are empty. And so now that you're coming in with the season, I think it's great. I think you're absolutely right. And I think it's also very important that you did build that box out aesthetically, because downtown Old Colorado City is such a place in all the locals' heart, and that aesthetic feel and everything. So being right off 21st Street, you've got a great location, but I think it was really important that you also thought of the people in the neighborhood, because, bigger businesses may not have done that. So,
All right, well, thank you. We also pushed the landscaping. It's very nice. You can come see. We used a local landscaper for it, which was our goal. But yeah, the water is once you try it, and as well as the ice, like I said, we do have an option to do reverse osmosis or just filtered ice, and we really chose to just go the higher route and do the RO ice, because even when we taste the difference, I can taste the difference between just plain filtered and reverse osmosis ice in your.
If I can reiterate on something, between reverse osmosis, 2 different sediment filters, a UV, a water softener, dechlorinator, and reverse osmosis, everybody's favorite. If you take that water that's filtered 5 to 6 times, and you take it home and you put it in your coffee maker for the next morning, if you put it in your humidifier, or if you put it, for instance, in my CPAP, your appliances will last longer because there's no sediment buildup, no calcium deposits, and all that garbage from just regular city water. Not that I'm hitting city water. But with the CPAP, you don't wake up with that swampy, funky aftertaste. Number one. And number two, most importantly, your coffee tastes better.
Yeah. And we've seen a lot of times people have been trying to find distilled water in the community, and they've been a crunch on somehow distilled water at the convenience stores. And I simply try and tell people that if you just used our water, the RO water, it is similar to distilled. Distilled is a heat process, and RO is a filtration process. So it's just 2 different processes.
So tell us how, when I go to get ice and they got the ice bins and you go in and you pay and you get a bag and you take it out, how does it work? Because you don't have one of those big bins that you reach in and get the ice, obviously, right? Or
Correct.
do you?
It's just a front customer interface. You can pay with cash, credit card. We have an app, or we're starting to do an SMS text system. So people can earn rewards when they're standing at the machine. For people who buy ice frequently or daily or weekly, so there is a rewards process with our machine too as well that we're just starting to onboard. So there's a customer interface, so they can choose their method of payment, and then there's a button, and you select the button, and the machine itself the auger starts crushing the ice. It puts it into a drop basin, and when there's 10 or 20 pounds there, it drops into a bag, and it vends out a chute. Directly to the customer. So no hands touch it versus the delivery method where, one of the large manufacturers will freeze their ice, they'll deliver it, and then somebody is touching your bag all the way along that process. Nobody touches this until you do.
There's probably time for 1 or 2 before the
Okay.
Like 4 minutes.
How large is your machine?
It is about 300 square feet. It's with the casing on it, we're about 9 feet by 24 feet.
Okay.
You say that you talk to the city, but I can't go up and shake hands with Colorado Springs. So who or what department does somebody need to go to if they're going to do something land related or build something?
So we started with city planning. You can make an introductory sort of meeting with them and kind of float your ideas by them, and they tell you whether it's zoned correctly for your ideas. Initially, we were not zoned correctly, but we figured out a workaround, being primary use is our parking lot and our building is actually a secondary use. So you did a workaround with the city on their regulations. So their city planning department is open to the public to make a meeting with them.
Do you have the containers available, or do you bring your own containers?
We do not. It is bring your own containers for the water. So save them up. You can always clean with a little diluted bleach. We do sell caps though. So for people who do, there is a machine on the side. For $2, we sell one of those new blue caps that can go on some 5-gallon jugs.
Have you ever come to the rescue for like a restaurant in emergency that lost their ice machine or?
We did.
Gas
Thanks
station
for
or something?
asking. Don't like
Yeah.
to brag. In December, we all know In-N-Out Burger opened up on the east side, and they had some ice maker troubles. And they had called around to all the big manufacturers. And we actually own a second machine. Colorado Springs is our second machine. Our first machine is in Custer County. And they called us in a panic. And we had, besides getting a burger at In-N-Out Burger, we hadn't known much. But they called us in a panic, and they couldn't get their ice. And they had, customers lined up at the drive-thru, and nobody likes warm soda pop. And so we actually do deliver to them on an emergency basis. And so that's what we're looking to hopefully get the word out to restaurants as summer revs up, that we are available for that.
How much do these machines cost?
They're an investment. I'm not going to lie.
And then also, how many
I'll be
machines do you need to, have out in the market to be successful?
So we're our end point. I probably say 5. Jeff probably says 3. We would like to have anywhere between 3 to 5 machines, mostly because the parts are getting difficult to source in order to maintain it. And you have to have enough machinery and parts on hand. A few owners do have one machine, but if your machine is down and there are no parts, you're not earning any money. That's just, like a stranded boat in the ocean. So our ultimate goal would be 3 to 5 around the city somewhere. So they are an upfront investment.
Do you ever see scaling it national, if growing that big?
It is a national.
Okay.
They're all independently owned.
Okay.
They're making a slow push kind of across the Mississippi. Nobody ever thought ice would sell in Colorado in the winter. So they're very popular in the Southeast and in Texas and in all those. And we've just been opening because everybody said it's wintertime. And our machine up in Custer County, it could be negative 12 degrees, and people still vend ice and water.
So I saw on your flyer it says that you guys are open 24/7, so you can just go into into your shop at any time, or how do you guys kind of differentiate security and things like that as well?
So we are open 24/7. We do have it monitored by cameras and internet to stream. We've seen people there at 4 a.m. in the morning vending ice. Maybe some people are going out on the job early and they know by 10, 11 o'clock it's going to be hot. And so we are open for those early morning or those late night individuals. So.
We have the final question somewhere.
What can we as a Colorado Springs community do to help you and your business?
We would like to scale it up, like you said. So I've been struggling with the commercial real estate market and sort of trying to see people the vision that we see people, that these machines do bring some positive aspect to the community by saving people money and giving them a source. I think there used to be key kiosks that got a lot of negative connotation on commercial property because people sort of abandon them and walk away. But when you're a business like ours and you're owned by people in the community, and I think you're there to serve the community, you really are there to stay.
Sure.
Thank you. We do. So like I said, we'll give everyone on our business card, on the back of our business card, there is a 1 ml cups we made last night, which is a promo code. So if you go to the machine, there'll be a 719 number. If you text that 719 number, you can get your own free bag of ice and sort of interact with the machine. We couldn't bring the machine here, But we'd like you to go to the machine and try it out.
Thank you for talking.
Thank you.
So I'm going to thank Judy again for supplying the space. So it's a hand for Judy. And for all of our supporters. We don't have anything else on the agenda. I'm going to ask for really a couple of things. One is that, Judy gives us this great space. If we could clean up around ourselves and make sure we get everything back into great working order. It always says here there's a final thought and we don't get anyone. So I was sitting, getting dressed this morning saying, what is our final thought? So last time I was here, we talked about, we don't celebrate enough. One of the things I've noticed, and maybe you've noticed too, is that, people aren't feeling good the way they did before COVID. And so I'm going to ask you to set a goal every day, whatever that goal is, and say to yourself, if I get this, it was a good day. Okay? And for me, I'll be honest with you. Today it's going to be clean the bathrooms. It's not even an entrepreneurial thing. Okay? But, I think sometimes we forget, we get behind, we have these long-term goals. We're all very good at setting these long-term goals. Sometimes we got to get through today. So I hope you get through today. We are done early. I hope you take a few minutes here to introduce yourself to somebody. We're not a networking group, but hey, we've got a few minutes. Why not meet one another? And I hope you have a really super week. Oh, I'm sorry. First-timers?
Oh, well, we can explain that.
You're a first-timer.
Today's your first day at 1 million cup.
That's what first time means, yeah.
But I don't know if I have to explain it.
Can we also, there's a couple of the organizers here. Can you raise your hand? And where's our alumni? I saw a couple. There we go. Well, Caffeinator? Super.
So I'm gonna mention the fishbowl.
Samantha's going to mention the fishbowl.
So the fishbowl is for first timers. So every quarter we give away a prize. Kenny over here works at the Switchbacks, so he brought some swag. If you have anything you want to throw in there, so once a quarter we pull a card. So if you are a first timer, put on the card who invited you plus your name, and then when we pull that card at the quarter, then both of you get to paper, rock, scissors to see who gets which prizes. We'll just give them both to you and you can decide who gets what. So we want to reward not only the first timers for being here, but also those who invited them. And then I did get an announcement online. So Michael Schoening is an entrepreneur that couldn't be here today, but he has the Unconditional Conference. It's 15 days away. 1 Million Cups will be a part of that. So Jane's going to go set up a booth to make sure that people know about 1 Million Cups. So May 19th, I believe that's a Thursday, you'll have speakers, Frank Sinclair, Brandon Kirk, Michelle Mraz, Yemi, and more at Library 21C up north. There are tickets on sale. I'mUnconditional.com. So if you want to know more about that, you can come talk to us too. I have a little list. I'm going to go double check.